trigger warning. We gonna be talking about some crazy things here, and there you go. There's your trigger warning.
As we all know, there was a documentary that came out. I'm actually surprised that it's not as crazy as the R. Kelly documentary. I
Well,
feel
it's a
like the truth is
series.
way
I think
more.
there's
Yeah,
more
well,
episodes coming
his is
out,
a series too. The R. Kelly joint is a series as well.
but there's
Like
more
they had
episodes
their own
coming out. We
episodes.
don't know where we're gonna land at the end of this because
Okay.
there's rumors that the dude Dan Schneider, one of the producers who came out to defend himself recently, there's rumors that he got Britney Spears' sister pregnant as on Zoe 101. Jamie Lynn Spears, that he got her pregnant when she was 16. Allegedly. These is rumors. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
wow, that's wild.
So like we don't know
So
where this is gonna take us,
I guess
baby.
I guess I guess you're right. I just feel like there's not many people that know about it as of yet. But you're right, it just began. It's called Quiet on the Set. What a double entendre there, because there was a lot of secrets on that set. And you know what's crazy to me? Nickelodeon, like
Yeah.
we watched this, and we watched all that. We watched Keenan and Kel. We watched all of these shows that was out, and behind the scenes, all this stuff was happening to these kids. Meanwhile, we're thinking like, wow, these kids are so cool, blah blah blah.
I don't know. I really don't know how to elaborate on that on camera, really.
Whatever you feel comfortable or you think will help.
Why don't you do this?
Yeah.
Why don't you think of the worst stuff that someone could do to somebody as a sexual assault, and that'll answer your question.
And this is not only like, I mean, Drake Bell is probably the the biggest one to come out in this in like these episodes, but there's a bunch of other people that's been going through it as well. Dang, yo, come on, Kano.
Nah, but I gotta be real, right? Like I gotta be real. I gotta tell you what I think of how I feel, right? At 15, you think you let somebody get that one off with you at 15? Because I remember me at 15. And yeah, nah. It wouldn't have flew. Like it wouldn't have happened.
Well, how about this one? This one to me was just as bad as the Drake Bell joint.
You know, they didn't even make that much money. Like to go through all that. They didn't even Nickelodeon wasn't giving them those contracts like that.
Yeah. That's the crazy part. They weren't even getting that much money to begin with. Where were the parents? But you know what? But here's what I also think. It's a kid show. You're with kids your own age, and of course, you gotta pass this, and to work with kids. I don't know if that's how it was before, but to work with kids, you got to do a screening, and you got to have a history of not being like having being an SA, abusing children. You know what I'm saying? So, like, to me, maybe it's a little different from R. Kelly, where as a whole adult in the midst of like a music industry where we all know these things go down.
I really be trying never to leave somebody alone with nobody. Like, I don't care if you've been coaching cheer for 1,000 years, fam. I do my best to not leave. Like, you not go and then I'm asking right after, like, yo, was anything weird? Was this, that, and the third? There's some people in here saying this is their careers, money, whatever. And I know they're not talking in context of the parents, but I'm sure that came across some parents' minds about money and all that. But that's could never. You can't put a dollar amount on that one for me. Ain't a dollar amount you can put on that one for me to be like, yeah, nah, we could leave him in the green room with him.
My father was like, yo, you going to the studio? The only time he made me go to the studio by myself is when he knew who it was. I had two cousins, and both of them are in the music industry,
Yeah,
or
one of them
were in
hated
the
me.
music industry. And we went to me and you went to the studio with the rest of the crew that over in Canarsie, and there was another studio out in Long Island that I went to, and because my father knew who he was, it was cool. But if there was anybody he don't know, forget about it. When you think about fame, you think about money, things get thwarted. You know what I'm saying? Things get distorted, and you don't know once when you get into that position, like what does that entail? You know what I'm saying?
That's true. My question, I wasn't trying to like blame nobody for nothing. My question was just to Kyle, like, do you think at 15 you would have let that one rock? That was just my question.
Wouldn't. If I at 15 years old, no, I wouldn't.
And I knew Kyle at 15. I don't think so. Same question goes for Win. I knew Win at 15. You think at 15, but we hung out together at 15. You think like I just can't see nobody that we was with letting that one go.
I wake up and I see you like
I just can't see it. I just can't see it.
Like we going like you going somewhere, bro. Your head going somewhere, bro. What's going on?
But I do.
Like, yo, nah.
I'm not saying I agree with this question about Win, but it does. I'll be lying if I tell you it don't come in my pause. It don't come across my mind. My thing is you can't subscribe to a culture and get mad about it years later. A lot of the testimony got me tight, to be honest. Big middle finger to all the victims' parents. Yeah, like as a parent, bro, like why the kids had to wait to grow up to to say something, bro?
I don't know what kind of stipulations was made. Like, the show ain't over. Like you said, the show ain't over. Maybe there was maybe they had to sign a contractual agreement where they weren't supposed to say nothing, or maybe it's just like we've never been victims before. Even the roughest, toughest dude out there, if he was to be found out that he was essayed or whatever the case may be, that like that rough and tough dude ain't looking so rough and tough. So he's gonna keep that a secret because he wants to stay rough and tough. He wants to stay. He wants, you know what I mean?
They should have a higher third party, like a representative on set, to make sure it's safe for kids. I like that idea. That joint make mad sense. I'm actually
how much you gonna bet that was the case, but they were in on that too.
I was about to say I'm kind of concerned that doesn't exist. That didn't exist already.
And the fact that Dan Schneider's trying to defend himself, like Dan Schneider was probably the first person before this whole documentary came. He was probably the reason why this documentary exists.
They said they had to have
literally trying to come on, man, seriously.
They said they have to have a parent or guardian on set at all times. I don't think they were with them 24/7. So you can't speak on if you've been in a situation. You can't say well, I will say this, and this I think I've shared this with a few people on here. I don't want to say no names or nothing, but there was somebody in my life who was apparently out here sexually assaulting everybody but me. Like we would sleep over somebody's crib and somebody was there, and there was two girls, I think like 3 boys, including me, and whatever, and we stayed in contact in rotation with each other well until Samaya was born. And this adult person was apparently essaying people, and I found out because everybody said it, and it was like with him, and it was like, yo, Jay, what about you? And I was like, nah, I'm a little offended though. Like why homie never,
really?
Like why homie never tried? No, but for real, it just never happened. And I don't know. I don't, I just say that to say I just think I really do feel like you carry a certain energy about you, and I don't know, man.
I also feel like indirectly you was a victim too.
How was I a victim?
Indirectly, you was a victim. The fact that whoever this was didn't choose you and has you thinking like, what is wrong with me?
No. I thought of this right here, of what the Mass Poppy said. I did think about, like, because that person did know my father or whatever. I was like, maybe they was like, yo, whatever. But also, I'm just being real with you. Like, I would have not let that rock. Like, it just wouldn't have happened. I know y'all all in the chat are saying you don't know until you know, but I know it wouldn't happen.
So, bro, saying your energy is what kept you from essays, basically saying the victim's energy allowed it.
You're right, and I should take that back then, because you're right. That's what it sounds like, and that's not what I'm trying to say.
And no, but and to Rachel's point, indirectly you could be a victim of that because it's like, dad, like what's wrong with me? What happened to me? Like, and you know what's crazy?
What I did feel,
I have a lot of issues, and you know this about myself, about how I feel like I'm a failure, I feel like I'm a loser, I feel like this, and I deal with that on a daily basis through depression. If I saw something similar to that, and I noticed it at that age, I'm like, like, what was wrong with me? What happened? Like, how come he didn't choose me?
I didn't realize this until like an adult, until like 27, 28, I think. And the only thing I really did feel was like kind of bad, which was like, wow, I must have been in that house at sometimes when it was happening. You know what I'm saying?
Like, SA is one of those crimes that don't affect just the person. It affects the victim the most, but everybody around it as well. Like, why didn't I see the signs? Why, like, if I was in the next room, I could have done something about it. I'm like, and it makes you feel heavy with guilt, burdened with guilt. It's just one of those crimes where it's kind of like, it's a ripple effect, bro. That joint, and you gotta be sick to plan something like that.
But like Amber said, I don't want to say that, like, I don't want to blame Drake Bell for anything that happened to him or any sexual assault victims. I don't want to blame any of them. That was like that question was like an apart, like an aside, like individually, you know. But I just want to reiterate what Amber and Rachel and the Max Poppy have said. You do not know how you will react in that situation, and that was their answer to my question. And I think that's a valid answer. You don't know unless you're in that situation.